Alright guys, here's my setup. I want to show you all the changes I've made, modifications. I didn't want to write it all down and take pictures because that's too much work for me. So first thing, this isn't due to our camper, but I love this thing for starting bonfires and just roasting marshmallows if you're just going to do a quick s'mores. Get the cheap one from Walmart because they're smaller than the big Weber one. So they're cheaper and they fit better in the camper. It works amazing. But back to this. So first I have to address the big giant gash in the side of the camper. I ran into a dumpster a few weeks ago in total shame, and we do have insurance, so that's being taken care of. But you see it hit the door down there, and it's got the big giant, filled it with foam. That clear stuff is called Gorilla Repair Tape. I think they call it Gorilla Clear Tape, clear duct tape now, but it is amazing. It's basically waterproof right now. I've used it before on a pop-up that we used to have, and it stuck vinyl to canvas for 2 years straight and never came off in all the heat and cold. It's pretty impressive stuff, and I keep a roll in the camper at all times now. But first I want to talk about what I don't like about this camper. The number one thing is if it rains, the rain on the back of the bed, it sounds like a Cherokee drum. It's brutal, especially if you're parked under a big tree and it's letting go of those big raindrops after they all collect. You can't sleep through it. It's terrible. And sleep is kind of the whole reason we bought this thing. So that's number one. So what I'm doing is clipping a 6x8 tarp, which happens to fit perfectly to the rain guard, and then put a couple noodles over the top, and then stretch it over and use the cords or the tie down straps to tighten it up, and it works great. Now when it rains hard, I can sleep fine. So now what I did for a major repair is right here, that wall separated from the camper. It got pushed out. I think it got pushed out because the mattress we put on our bed was too big, and when we suck the sliding back in, it pushes up against the cabinets and had pressure on the back wall. I think that's what happened. So what I did was, those are two big aluminum straps with about 8 leg screws up and down, and on the other side of that, inside, is 2x4s that they're going into, so it kind of compresses it and holds it together. So that was my fault that happened, but also feel like that could have been built a little bit stronger than it was. So I don't know if anyone else has that problem out there, but that's what I did to both sides, even the other side, even though it doesn't need to be done yet. I just did it preventively. So down here is where we keep the bikes. That's a Kurt bumper hitch, and it's a fold up hitch carrier. So once we park somewhere, we take the bikes off and we fold the carrier up, and then we call this the garage. This is actually one of my favorite parts about this model, is that we slip bikes under there at night if it's going to rain, and they come out perfectly dry, and it's little to no work. So, and we just put the 3 big bikes on there, and we put the 3 smaller bikes into the main door. We find that disassembling the bed up in front and putting bikes through that way is too much of a pain in the butt, and we find this just works easier for us. So we are a family of 6, so that gives you an idea of how many people are using this thing at once. That little chrome hook right there is a suction hook. We normally have 4 of them up. We're packing up, ready to go, and everyone went to the shower, so that's why I have time to do this. They work great. We even forgot to take them down. They went down the highway just fine. But normally we try to take it down every single time we go somewhere, and then we have extra spots for hanging towels out here underneath the canopy. And I don't know if you can see it, but this also we got off Amazon. It's like a deflapper, they call it, but it hangs on to the canopy, the awning, and stretches it out, and also pulls it down, so the rain all feeds off this one side now, which is super nice. That is a must-have for old awnings as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, anything else out here before I go in? We have the sway control system. That's a must, especially with this thing. We had to put bigger quick struts on here, stiffer ones. We put Ranchos in the front and Bilsteins, or sorry, Ranchos in the back and Bilsteins in the front. And now it's actually able to tow pretty safely. Before I had a diesel, which was a huge difference going to this, but I can manage it now with that. So I think that's everything. Sorry, I'm going to ramble, but I just don't want to do this more than once. That's only for like 4 people in the whole world, so you guys probably don't mind sitting through it. We put this leveler on the door, which has been awesome. So when we get to our campsite, we just pop open the one door and leave the screen door shut, and then my wife tells me when it's in the bubble, and when we put those sort of curvy red chalks underneath it to pull up the one side of the camper, and then we're done. It's awesome. I wish we would have done that a long time ago. Inside, let's see what's different here. Oh, put some more lights on here. The dish holder above the sink here. You can find these kind of an over the sink dish holder. It is zip tied into the screws on the window. So I pull out a screw and it's zip tied in there. It's worked flawlessly. It has never moved. Gets a great place to store your dishes, and to obviously when you wash them and you put them up on top and they drip dry. It's awesome. Highly recommend it, especially for people like us who don't have a spot to put dishes really, because this cabinet is full of junk. I mean, not junk, we need everything that's up there, but once everything's up there, you know, there's no more room left. Travel Berkey, that thing's awesome. Recommend that if you don't have it. Down here is our mosquito control. So when we go to a campground that has tons of mosquitoes, they come flocking in, and we don't quite know where they come from, but now we think they come from underneath the bed. So if you look under the bed, you can see some pretty big holes under there. That's pretty easy for a mosquito to get through. So we put this sheet up now every time, undercross, tuck it under the bed, tuck it down below. That seems to make all the difference. Plus we also got a I'll just show it to you. Hold on to your seats. It's gonna get a little dizzy. The filler thing for the bathroom vent. We thought they were maybe coming through there. So we got them both at the same time. So I don't actually know which one made the biggest difference, but they made a huge difference overall. So this is the bigger mattress we put on. Put a big, it's a total of 10 inches of foam. It's awesome. It's sleeping on it is amazing. We took the back cabinet off. We didn't want the storage, and we wanted to be able to put our pillows up against the back wall and sit up and read a book, or watch a movie while the kids are sitting on the dinette down here. That's worked out great. I don't miss that storage at all. That storage was a pain in the ass anyways to get to. So that is a little shelf I put in for my CPAP machine, and a couple of clear command strip cell phone holders, which are great for, you know, looking at your cell phone at night and then pop them in there and going to sleep. Let's see. We hang a bunch of shoe rack holders, which is no big news to anyone. This one to the left holds clothes, and then that one we might actually be getting rid of and using something else, but if I do that, I will post about that. But we love the shoe rack holder here on the side of the fridge. This basket above the radio we put in here with command strips, that's really great. It's kind of a charging center, so we have the big charging octopus in there, and then we can plug in all our different phones, electric devices or whatever, and charge from up there. You know, like I said, we're a family of 6, so we have a lot of stuff. Let's see, what else? Whiteboard is a must. That thing has come in much more handy than I thought. I don't know if there's anything in the bathroom that I can think. Oh, I took the bathroom door off. So the bathroom door was one more thing to open up and get in the way, so I took it off. And I hung this curtain up here instead. That might not work as my kids get a little older, but for now it's working. This is also great. That is a little solar charging light, which I intended to hang outside, but it's lived in here and it's great. We leave it outside and charge. It's motion activated, so when the kids go to the bathroom at night, it pops open or pops on right away, and they can do their business. And that's been also great. And then another shoe rack holder in between. We're going for function, not beauty here. We got 6 of us going out camping. A lot of stuff. Trying to find a spot to put it all. And then up here, I know there's a big problem with, let me turn this fan off, with people getting in the bunk. So what I did was I originally put this 2x2 across, took these 2 doors off. Another thing just to get in the way. And then we end up putting this shoe bench down here. So these baskets are not part of the original design, just a shoe bench with a couple of wire racks across it. Well, we put it in there, and then the kids step on that, and they step on the 2x2, and they crawl up into bed. I put these here, and they kind of use that to help pull them up for that. So I think that's everything. I don't want to forget something before I shut this video off. Well, I'm going to take this microwave out. I know about you guys, but this thing pops the breaker all the time when I use it. Maybe that's just unique to me, but I want to take oh, there's a nice little mosquito flying around. I want to take it out because we never use it, and it just pops the breaker, so I'll get some more storage up there. Let me know if you guys have a problem with that also, because I don't know why that happens with us, but it happens every time. We can't cook anything in there. You know what, I'm going to ramble on, and I will post in the thing if you shut off. So right now I'm at the 11:30 mark, so I don't want to forget anything and have to reload up to anything else. So I think that's everything. Let's just look at my beautiful disaster here for a second. Oh, this thing, one thing I should show you is this little blue thing that has the blue light coming off it. Get these on Amazon. They're not cheap, but on top of mosquitoes sucking in at night, they also suck in fruit flies. Which I don't know about you guys, but camping with fruit, which we usually have a lot of, we almost always have fruit flies. With this thing, we don't have a problem with it anymore. It's awesome. Again, I would not camp without it anymore. But you guys might not have the fruit fly or mosquito problems that we have. So, also we put a laundry basket right here in this little corner, a little rectangular tall one. Fits perfect, easy for everyone to throw their laundry in. Oh, I don't want to forget anything here. I think that's everything. Sorry for rambling on, but since this is for the 4 or 5 of you on the planet that will watch it, I don't think you mind watching the different parts. So I'll show you this. So the mattress would come in here, and as it came in, it would hit this wall, and then the pressure from it would push the wall out. That's what I think happened. So if you don't put a big old mattress on yours, you won't have a problem. So what we have to do is we actually have to get up on the bed and pull this big mattress back against the back wall every 2 or 3 trips, and then eventually kind of slides forward and shimmies forward a little bit at a time. We put those rubber rug stoppers underneath it. That helps a little bit, but not much. But that's a small price to pay. For me, it's all about sleeping. If I can get a good night's sleep, I don't care about anything else. I can deal with anything else, but if I don't get a good night's sleep, then everything else doesn't matter either. So sleeping's number one. It's the only thing that matters. That's why we have the big, huge mattress, and I'm willing to put up with whatever else we have to put up with to do it. These are the 2x4s here from the outside that the leg screws are going into. So it's basically pinching the corners shut. Oh, no, I guess I gotta show you one more thing outside I forgot to show you. So this top one up here actually goes into a different piece of metal up here. I replaced that also. Sorry, I know this is dizzy. So I took off the other rain gauge, or the rain guard up there, which is this cheap aluminum, and I went and got a big heavy gauge piece of aluminum L bracket and put that up there, and that helps stiffen it up. I put a bead of caulking along the front of it, and that directs the rain off each side. So I think that also made a big difference in the structure of the back.